Greetings. Welcome to So Much to Talk About 2011 NBA Draft. My pleasure to have one of the best analysts in basketball, and this gentleman was a very successful head coach for Manhattan University and Manhattan College, and St. John's University, and he's the expert for international players coming into the NBA Draft, Mr. Fran Fraschilla. Pleasure to have you on the show.
I'm glad to be here, Nabaté. Yep.
Thank you so much. And talk about there's a good amount of foreign talent coming in. So talk about which guys can make an impact when they play in the NBA, because there are a couple guys that are going to stay overseas, obviously.
Well, there may be a few guys that play overseas, and then also these international guys are pretty young guys. You know, we got a couple 19-year-olds in the draft, and if you look at the NBA playoffs this past season, very few rookies are helping playoff teams. So, excuse me, but. Obviously, Enes Kanter, the young man that did not play at Kentucky this year, is a big body guy, 6'11", 260, little body fat. He is. He's got a chance to be very good. I think he's going to go in the top 3, 4 at the worst. Then you've got Jan Vesely from the Czech Republic. And this is a guy that's played a couple years at a high level in Europe. So when he comes to the NBA, his adjustment's going to be easier than most because he's used to playing against top-level talent. The most intriguing international guy might be Jonas Valanciunas, the 6'11", 19-year-old center from Lithuania, who is kind of like he's got the grace of a Pau Gasol, who came over here at a relatively young age also, and has got a chance, I think, Jonas, to be a very good NBA player, but he's going to need a couple more years of seasoning and strength. Those 3 guys are probably the top 3. Internationally, I think you could see as many as 8 guys go in the first round.
Yeah, and speaking of Gasol, he was part of that 2001 draft, which didn't really pan out. He was by far the best player in that.
Pan out except for the Memphis Grizzlies. Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you more about Enes Kanter. 34 points in the Hoop Summit, which is always a good barometer. Players that have really succeeded there from the international level have done well, a la Dirk Nowitzki and Nicolas Batum, et cetera, et cetera. So talk about how Kanter, I think he can be an all-star by his 3rd season.
Well, I don't want to put that much pressure on him, but let's face it, when he had 34 points last year in about 27 minutes, he did it against guys like Jared Sullinger, Perry Jones, Terrence Jones, Harrison Barnes. So while it's a good barometer, it's a small barometer, because it's only one game. But I think Enes has got the necessary size, athleticism, toughness, skill level, tenacity to be a very good NBA player early in his career. But I don't want to put that all-star label on him just yet because he's only 19 years old.
About Dirk Nowitzki, I wrote an article about Nowitzki.
And Dallas now, so I see Dirk quite a bit, but go ahead.
Well, but him being the best foreign-born player ever, I mean, what do you think? How do you stack him up overall in NBA history?
Well, first of all, probably the best foreign-born player that didn't play in college. Because I would start with a guy named Hakeem Olajuwon. Yeah, I would start with Hakeem. But Dirk, in my mind, especially with this championship, I think he's easily in the top 50 players of all time. And I think given the fact that he's just helped Dallas to their first championship, you might even make an argument that he's in the top 25. Just go back and look at his career numbers, and he still has probably 4 more really solid years left. And I think by the time Dirk is done, you might say that he's in the top 25 players of all time, and probably second only to Olajuwon, because the big fella did get a couple championships. But Dirk has had an unbelievable career, and he's done it in a quiet way. People don't realize, I think, outside of Dallas, how consistently good he's been over his career.
No question. And one more question for you: are you going to consider coaching again? Because you had so much success doing it, and you have one more run left in you.
I don't know. I like TV. I'm undefeated. I like what I'm doing. I'm really enjoying ESPN, and I'm having a lot of fun.
Wow. Well, Coach Fraschilla, pleasure and honor to talk with you. I'm glad I got to speak with you. Thank you for being on So Much to Talk About.
You're welcome.